So I guess starting with, should I call you Beast or what should I call you?
This is fine. Yeah, it's a goofy username in the first place.
No, I like it.
So go
It's a
for it.
cool name. Um, what do you think about this matchup? Cloaks versus Eternal Council.
Boy, it's a tricky one because both factions are capable of putting out a lot of damage in different circumstances. Cloaks can be a bit more evasive and pose problems against Eternal Council with things like um, smoke bombs and just unexpected angles of entry with out of shadows. So beware the gunner moves and moto boots. That's also another thing against the council's disadvantage is the moto boots, which we see going on right now. We've got the final form blocks already up and
In turn
online
one.
turn one. Yeah, that's going to be a rough
And
one for Dev. Yeah, but a skilled Eternal Council player would probably front similar fashion to Storm Goblins. They would try to front with units in front of Edia, always keep Edia's front covered with a gate or a unit, and then try to eke out an advantage with Psychic Assault from safety
Hmm.
and go from there.
What do you think about I've been seeing recently, especially a lot of players against cloaks doing, of course, trying to do a unit in the front if possible, but also prioritizing
Mhm.
always a unit in the back in case, especially when like a you know they have four magic for dagger or a
Or
gate
a
in the back.
dagger. Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's the
that's
hallmark
interesting.
of cloaks. You have to guard against everything.
Yeah, every angle.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about yesterday. Was this idea of for especially these more complicated factions, like high elves, cloaks, shadow
Right.
elves, filth.
Hmm.
Like one of the reasons they're so strong is just the amount of like possibilities you have to calculate for is absurd. Especially at low health.
Right. Oh, interesting already. Yeah, decent spot.
Eternal Council is tough. I've never been able to really turtle with them, or even want to in particular. But I think that's the nature of that fashion is balancing when to go in and just not be afraid versus keeping Edie alive.
The interesting thing about turtling, quote unquote, with the Eternal Council is that you can kind of build up to a ridiculous hand size just by doing it passively, and then threaten a big OV turn if they dare. Kind of.
Absolutely, but you can't just be play and I think this goes against
Right.
my play styles. I can't just be trying to grind them out, which I
Right.
love to do with Shadow Elves, like just depth your opponent out without doing
Yep.
anything super flashy. Whereas
Yeah.
Edia, you're committed to at some point pulling out that really flashy play. Like that's just the
Right.
nature of the faction. Whereas I
Hmm.
prefer to win very, very boringly. I prefer to just, Mountain Vargath without ramming advance. I'll just stay way
Yeah.
back and never do anything interesting until you run out of deck.
Beans. Beans has a word. That's what it was.
Mountain Varga. Yeah, no,
But I mean, I love watching Eternal Council, and Obsidian Dwarves, and just being like, when are they going to pop off? When is that big play going to come?
True.
And
yes.
that forward gate is always just, okay, when's it going to happen?
Yeah, when is the big turn? There's always that one or two big turns Eternal Council has with all their events active. Um,
It's really one of my favorite factions in terms of design.
mm,
Not necessarily in terms of personal play style, but just what this faction,
Can
brings to
do.
the game as a whole.
Mhm. Eternal Council or Eclipse?
Eternal Council. I think Cloaks, you
Mm.
can fall into the debate of, is the gameplay samey, or do you just see that Machinist in the corner every single game?
mm,
Yeah.
And there is nuance to that debate.
Yeah.
But I am not, I am personally not a fan of, putting a hand cannon on this melee unit. Like that just drives me
Yeah.
nuts. And, 4 blocks to copy. Like those
mm,
kind of mechanics just when the mechanics don't match what seems obvious on paper, like that just kind
Mhm.
of drives me a little nuts, although I do it. I do what it takes to win.
Yeah, in terms,
Ooh, interesting. First smoke bomb here.
like
Might be a
building.
good learn target, but no good hits for Edia this turn.
Mm. I'm curious if this was a turn dildo. It's like one of those 45-minute turns where you just don't have enough time to really think it out. Because I think he
Yeah.
was originally trying to do something with the, or we can ask him afterwards. I think he was originally trying to do something with a sniper. Maybe get 2 attacks on advisor, but then
Hmm.
realized he's leaving the gate spot open, and then Vlox was also exposed. Who knows? We can ask him after.
Yeah. Right.
I can definitely buy that. I mean, what I love about, Dildo as a player is he doesn't overthink.
Mm-mm-mm.
Like he's willing to just go. And I think
Let
that's the
him
right
go. Yeah.
attitude to come into Summoners with. Yeah, like, yes, you want to win the game, you want to do well, you want to analyze, but at the end of the day, it's a game. Go with your
Definitely.
first
True.
instinct and trust it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think sometimes like I love over analyzing, but some days I just don't want to over analyze, and you just want to have fun. And I think that's always important, right? At the end of the day, you're playing this game to have fun, uh, not to
You know, but when there's 2 advisors on the board, there's just so much
Mm-hmm.
overthinking to be done.
Yep.
Like you
No
can't
take
not map
backsies.
out every possibility of where Adia could be, by
Mm-hmm.
the end of the turn.
Oh, 3 out of 3.
Gets it.
Sages are such a good unit. I can't believe they're not topping list. I think they're right up there with Warriors, Crimson Order Warriors, that is. Such a fantastic unit.
You Sage, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Enigma Sage. Yeah.
They're really good. Yeah, agreed. They just have like for 2, you basically get technically 1 guaranteed damage and
Hmm.
three.
Almost 3 guaranteed damage on a ranged unit that's beefy.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious if you guys think the same. I always thought that if like the more players that play, the more strong. Like we just need more people to experiment with Eternal Council. like, like we need like instead of 10 people playing Eternal Council, we need like 100 or 1,000, and then this faction
That'd
just
be interesting.
yeah.
What do you think that does to the faction? Or
I
our
think
knowledge of the faction?
just more tricks. I think like
Hmm.
probably like the first person who like made Megagate popular, right? Or I'm not sure if that was already people figured that out in playtesting, but I heard that was something which came a little
Mm.
bit late or not intended during playtesting.
I think it
Mm.
was the first thing everyone thought of when they read the
Oh, really?
cards. It
It's
was
just Megagate.
basically, holy shit, I can turn my gate into a Death Star? What is this? I do remember the Discord conversations. It was very much like, you're kidding, right?
Supergate. Yeah. But was I might be wrong, but I thought I heard in one of Aaron's podcasts or somewhere that the developers didn't really think that this is initially what people would be doing, and that they'd be.
Colby
Mhm.
forgot it was a thing. During one of his commentated tournament games, tournament finals, a couple releases after, after Sand Goblins, I think he forgot about Megagate. But I do remember when the playtesters, were first kind of teasing it, it was just kind of like real, the people just asked the playtesters, wait, you can do this? I can like move my 10, my 10 gate up to the other side of the field? And they were like, yep, you sure can. But I mean, I'll say this too, and I mean, we're forgetting about the game, but just to keep going with Metagate Gate, I feel like that's definitely evolved as more factions have come out. It felt overpowered for a while, and then factions like Swamp Orcs and Crimson Order could just eat that
Yeah.
thing for lunch.
Deal with it. Yeah, that's true. It's
But then
very
Sand
true.
Goblins had enough tools that they didn't miss a beat. They were like, okay, Megagate's kind of nullified, I'll do something else. So I mean, that's
Yeah.
my take on why I love that design, and I think Eternal Council
Versatility of
has
the
some of
faction.
that.
Yeah.
Like the more crazy stuff you can learn, the more the faction changes and feels fresh with new releases.
That's true. That's a valid point, actually. One of the things that we pay attention to definitely in playtesting, it's a no duh. It's that you need to understand what events you're designing and making, because that means Eternal Council can use it
I
too.
love that Eternal Council kind of landed at what I think of as like, A tier from the start. So there was
Mm,
room, there was room for it to maybe become powerful because of an event without becoming so suddenly overpowered.
Hmm.
that's true.
Like I just really love where Eternal Council landed and really what it's become as more factions have come out.
I think they were definitely worried that it might become another Rolol from first edition, which was pretty busted. So they settled with this design, which I think is a uh, perfect happy medium. You say, let's see. But this is interesting. An insight for two with only one boost. Dev might have Learn in Hand staying.
This is also a little bit dangerous if Devilfish and doesn't have another gate because
Mhm.
blocks can easily block all gate spots next turn.
That's true. But Seek might draw into it. Oh no, attack phase. No, no
Mm,
gates.
no gates. So
It's one of those dangerous playing the econ game, kind of, especially when you need to draw gates. That when you draw slow, you don't draw the things that you want sometimes.
hmm, oh, good point. Clark, Claris Miss, Claris Miss. He runs faction nationalist.
Versus.
Claris Miss.
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
Chat says, you wanna, as Eternal Council, you wanna put some pressure on Block so he can't hit back and assemble his super combo or sit back. Um,
hmm, that's true. Ooh,
Oof.
holy hell! All the
the one
perfect
shot.
range shots here. Yeah, a lot of 3/3 bows here from the Gunners, Sages, and now Edia for 7.
True.
Boy.
And the
There you go, the
learn.
Lauren. Yeah.
So no into the or potentially can get into the shadows and or the smoke bomb.
Penny? Aren't they active?
I think
I
so.
believe they're active. Yeah, so you can't, not this turn.
Oh, I see. I see. The turn afterwards. Hmm.
Yeah.
The best one is you guys ever played Eternal Councils versus Phoenix Elves? It feels so bad as Phoenix Elves. You, you can use all their abilities like slightly better.
Oh, huh. Oh, because stealing Spirit of the Phoenix.
Exactly. You can do some
Yeah.
crazy stuff. And then also the one cost where you only get hit for specials. If you have a lot of boost, you can just
Oh,
persist.
flaming
Flares. Oh
flare.
yeah.
You just persist
Yeah.
flare
Oh god.
over and over.
That's a good one.
You just have
Yeah.
Edia just cannot die.
This is a tricky one for Baggins to think through for sure. That 7 magic on Devlinfish is decently menacing. But with only 2 summon spots on the side, I don't know how much damage he can do from this spot, honestly.
Agreed.
It's always the dilemma when facing Eternal Council, really, because you need to get damage on Edia and you don't want to keep her super cannon mode going.
Right. But from this spot, honestly, even though Devlinfish is up on magic, it's not something he can capitalize on, I don't think. Not from this position. Because with 2 summoning spots like that and this angle of attack on blocks, there's no safe spot on Edia to do any major damage other than on the gate, maybe. But then I think Edia's sticking on the column that she's in.
It's so tempting. You want you want Vlox in the fray. Cloaks hurts when Vlox isn't shooting for 8.
Yep.
But this is not a safe time to shoot for 8.
Probably a shoot once
All
and then
right.
back away.
We're living on the
Oh,
edge.
Okay, he doesn't.
a lot of high success rate bow shots here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but both sides.
Doing the econ game. This is what I like to see.
Mm-mm.
That's the best move I could have thought of for Baggins.
Hmm. But now I think if Edia has a gauge, she can move forward, gate in front of her, maybe take a stage pot shot on block after Edia busts the 5 gate on their side.
What are you persisting right now? The 8
Uh, Definitely insight. Yeah.
insight? Huh.
Alternatively, Eternal Council can do the same thing. Move the stage back, hit the gate, have a target, or force a commit from cloak side.
Mm. You think we're seeing an Ovi or a Malnora? I mean,
Malinar, yeah,
Malnor, yeah.
maybe.
Malnor would be a little bit, doesn't get the most value here, just because it looks like Vlox is
Yeah.
pushing back. But Ovi can definitely do some work.
Media
Okay,
can fall back here. Oh, persisting is steep. Interesting.
so it must be Ovi, I'm assuming. That'd be the only reason I can think of.
Yeah.
Oh, no Ovi.
Okay. And the draw. Okay, can't take that back.
Hmm. The best and worst part about Eternal Council is drawing so many cards.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And not being able to take back on that. That's a big one.
Exactly, yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting choices from Devlinfish here. Taking pages off the econ player's book, definitely. But 2 targets for block next turn. If they bust that gate, there's that one stage and the scholar free for the taking. So I don't know.
Mm. Ooh, nice
Ooh,
triple through.
lucky.
So many 3R3s on this game. I'm telling you guys, this is something.
Yeah, ranged dice are always hits this game. No whiffs.
Hmm.
I don't think I've
Free
seen.
food on the table, Baggins. Free food on the table.
Mm. Last time I saw this much magic, it was Ben 10 playing. Ben is notorious for discarding all his cards.
Yeah, no discards here. It's a good idea. And he doesn't need to.
Definitely something you watch for when your opponent's discarding slowly. You can too.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a great point, Clarisimus. He says Eternal Council is great at teaching you to plan out your turn from the beginning. So yeah, like having a game plan
Mhm.
for all your stages, because you can't go
Sure.
back.
Yeah.
Can't go back. So Devil Vishing has 8 cards in hand and 7 magic. Kind of scary, but unless he draws a gate, I don't think he can push up.
Yeah, this is the tricky part with the 2 factions.
Yeah.
I think this is the point in time where they want to play footsie while no one has any good. Well, Cloaks has the poke and prod with the Moto Boots and back away, but Eternal Council doesn't have much of an option here other than poking the gate and hitting blocks this turn.
I feel like if I'm Edia, I feel I do need to push up, or at least get a lot of
Yeah.
damage on blocks, because potentially Admiral comes down, and once Admiral's down, you're losing. Like, you cannot do this trading against 4 attacks,
Mm,
or potentially 5 attacks a turn.
mhm. That's true.
Yeah.
With or without Admiral, though, I think blocks can just keep poking away at the 10 gate,
Mm.
just back away.
Okay, great point. Just Machinist.
I wonder if Idia was persisting that Seek earlier, just fishing wildly for a gate,
Yeah, probably.
rather than trying to feed Obi like we were suspecting.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Obi here is food for blocks. Like, blocks is willing to take that big hit or
All I
to
know,
trade
this
for
is
that
my
option.
least favorite position to be in as Eternal at Council is Idia hiding behind the 10 gate.
Yeah.
You know, that's that feeling of like my hands are tied. I don't quite have the tools to withstand, to kind of grind them out.
Mm-hmm.
No, agreed. And not only that, the 2 advisors are completely out of the game right now.
Inactive. Yeah.
Well, they and that gunner have just been kind of like hanging out doing nothing this whole game. Like, I've never
Looking
seen like
menacingly,
an exposed gunner, live that long.
just menacingly there.
Is Edea gonna move up here? Yeah. Trying to go
I
for a
think she
push
has
now.
to. She has
Yeah.
to.
So shove works on comms and champions, but not on summoners. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Wish it did.
that'd be so good. Especially in Eternal Council, I feel like that would just make them like S tier instantly.
S tier. Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
There's just nothing more satisfying than Tundra Orcs or Mountain Vargath, like batting a summoner
Shoving
around.
it.
Yep.
That's true.
I had a yesterday. I had a sad. I could have won my game against Oliver in Plat Hat,
Mm,
and I just whiffed the 2 for 2. But I was gonna do the the bean special. You attack
okay.
yourself with the fighter to get the last
Oh,
hit.
with the fucker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I remember that Prophet game.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah, Olivier is also one of those great newcomers.
Yeah, no,
Good record on his games right now.
he's really good. We're very good at econ, or they're very
Yeah.
good at econ. Yeah.
Well, I agree with Eden. I want Katu. I love Katu games.
Mm.
I will discard
Not
him
too.
if I don't think it's going to go to endgame, but I really love Katu games. It's not every game. It's far from every game. A lot of times he's irrelevant, but he's just one of those cards that it doesn't matter if he's not as must play as Boldo, not close, or any of the other like really great champs. It's just he adds something so different from any other champ.
Right.
These range dice just hitting every time.
Yeah.
Should have played
Be good.
breakers.
Be good.
They stole the hits from the Breakers. Somewhere out there, there's like a Breakers player that is just crying.
Just whipping everything.
And blocks for the confirm. Yeah, very tricky spot for EDA to be in right now.
Yeah.
It's interesting that she and Vlox are both at near full health at the moment still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've just been.
There's a lot of a game and a lot of cards left. We might see this turn into a siege.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love. Like, I just do not see that as a downside of Summoner Wars at all. Like, those very slow, grindy,
Slow
grindy
grind
games.
games. Mm-hmm. Oh man, the smoke bomb. This is a little bit crippling for Devlin here.
Well, if that's Sage...
So you can still use.
It's
Sage
like I want
ability.
him to use... I want him to use his ability.
I think he's.
Although,
There's
not
a
that that's
funny.
much good either. That's just me, like,
Mhm.
churning through card possibilities without regard to whether that is beneficial.
It's beneficial. There's a funny spot here where you could walk the advisor on the edge, 2 spaces forward, take a hit on block with the sage, and then kill the sage with the advisor.
Oh yeah. Just magic now.
That's the cute play. I don't know that it's a practical play given that there's a gunner to
Punish
retaliate against that advisor.
Yeah, the advisor probably dies next turn.
Yeah.
I think you definitely use the sage. You get damage on blocks, and then also you get a ping damage
Yeah.
on bandit. It's just really good value.
Yeah. Just give it up like that. Yeah.
And then outside that, Devlinfish needs gates to do anything else really. If they're gates, 3 gates are their last 3 cards, it might be very tough to push.
That's true. Assault. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you move the 2 spaces forward with this? Oh, feet. Okay, yeah. That
That's
is
where
a
they're going,
2-space move.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
They do need a gate though, or at least another unit, or else Edea most likely is getting into the shadowed, daggered.
Right. Yeah. Has Baggins been discarding? I haven't been paying attention. That might be a signal to whether or not he's prepping for one.
Mm,
Bandit, Smoke Bomb, no discards. So 3 cards rolling over. It's definitely highly likely.
yeah. I'm curious if we can ask him. It could be that Admirals won in one of their first hands, and then they just threw it away, and then so that's always the worst feeling when you know the first turn you get it, you throw it away because you think you can never have the magic to play it, and then you do have the magic to play it. It's tragic.
Well, that's the downside of a cheap faction like Cloaks.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep, yep.
Bandit's so good and so free. I think Edia just moves 1 space forward here, kill the bandit with the assault, take a hit on the gunner. Just play it safe like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know if you want to put the knight behind the stage because Blocks has 2 targets again,
Mm.
but
Oh, what's she? Oh.
oh, 2 damage on the bandit with
And
the next
one
2
auto
phases
damage on the
on
with the sage.
stage. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Oh, God, it feels painful to exert all that effort for a bandit.
Oh no. Yeah, he moved the advisor and said that knight is okay. Yeah, that knight is, I think, we're
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
better definitely than behind the sage. Yeah,
Oh,
agree.
there's the gate.
Mm.
Hmm.
I would have still
It's
moved the other
still kind
advisor.
of scary positioning.
Yeah. I think if I was Devlinfishing, I would have moved the. I think that's what you were talking about, Beast. I'd put the advisor behind
Hmm.
Edia, just so that dagger becomes less of a
Uh,
threat. Yeah.
Yeah. I
yeah,
don't know if he had the
that's true.
moves for that, but that's just instinctive. I'm terrified. Oh, it whiffed.
Ah, tragic. It's kind of good though. Is it? No, never mind. Into the shadows. I was like, can't somebody do
Yeah.
there?
I think that's what we're all waiting for next turn.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh boy. Well, dagger and that gunner will probably face psychic assault counterfire next turn at the very least. But Edia is in a bad spot after that.
This is. Idia needs to win soon, I think, unless they're trying to go
Mhm.
Katu plan. But I'm gonna try to get the magic for that.
I don't know about that Katu plan, honestly. It's I
Yeah,
always quote Astro Cosmonaut on this. Katu is good, but it never almost always pans out that way.
yeah.
I always shock people when I talk about discarding Katu.
Yeah,
But
he's part of the
there are
plan.
there are a lot of games that you can tell are not going to be a Katu game.
Mm,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, agreed. It's definitely very situational. Well, a plan here next turn is if Dildo keeps the board state exactly as it is, which they definitely will not. You can potentially one shot at the gate with Edia. You get another another insight or 8 for 8
Man,
trade.
8 for 8.
I
You're
feel
really wishful thinking here.
I think Davoud had a game like that where they were playing
Oh,
Shadow Elves and they just
no.
it was like turn 2 or something like that. Their gate just 10 gate exploded and they lost the game.
Imagine that. Never tell me the odds.
Exactly. So, that's the thing I love about the replay function for all these tournaments is that you see some crazy stuff you'll
Hmm.
probably never see in your life. Uh,
Yeah.
the craziest I think was
For the
the
new players out there,
sorry.
yeah, for the new players out there, that's a cheat code. Uh, Hit up replays from other people. That's how you learn quick.
Agreed.
Yeah, keep going, Travis.
Oh no, no, no worries. I was gonna say the craziest game I think still to this date is there's a Ciabatta or not Ciabatta. There's a shampoo game from I think a couple years ago where
Uh-huh.
he Shadow Elves versus Tundra Orcs, and I kid you
Uh,
not, turn one, he starts out
uh,
at 2 HP with Sunderved because Tundra Orcs got so lucky on their force
on the
pushing
fighter.
on the fighter, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
And
gosh.
then somehow he still ended up winning the game. Uh,
Oh dang.
yeah,
It was awesome. I
Imagine
will.
that.
Well, first of all, it was I think like maybe 5,
yeah,
and he had a gate. But I've watched that game multiple
yeah.
times, in part because that was when Shadow Elves was new and that was their first tournament,
Mm,
and we really, as a community, hadn't quite caught on to just how
how
much crazy
strong they
stuff
could
you
be.
could do with them.
Mm.
Mhm.
So that was like the, I mean, it was like the shampoo debut party and the Shadow Elves debut party. Like, what the hell just hit everyone?
Interesting, a double hit here on Edia. Maybe Vlogs backing away. Actually, yeah,
That was,
Vlog
he spent
photo
a
boost.
long time thinking about this turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'd assumed if
Well,
he
it's like,
had Out of Shadows, he would have,
you would have done it by now. Yeah, no
but that was
dagger.
actually a lot of thinking. Like, this has got to be good, but how do I really make
Mm-hmm.
it? How do I actually optimize this?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is not the worst it could have been for Edia. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Vlox is still understandably scared of her.
I don't know that I
Yeah,
have moto boots there though. Yeah, maybe
Mm.
something like here.
he probably had that all mapped out in his head. It was trying not to telegraph it.
Mm.
Interesting, using a gunner for one more damage because he can't actually. He used both of his smoke bombs, so this gunner's most likely dead next turn.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see it. Like every damage matters in terms of
Yeah,
into the shadows.
You know, that could have gone a lot worse for Eternal Council.
Mm.
that is true. Still a bad spot. That's 4 down on Edia, but
Yeah, I think into the shadows play is probably game over. To be honest, that turn
mhm.
you block the game spot. You need to somehow deal with this and probably attack with two advisors to even go back. But yeah.
Oh, discarding both events. Interesting.
So that was
This
a
is kind of the point of the game where I would not dare. I'd play Econ with Edia at 9 HP against Cloaks.
mm, yeah, it's scary.
It is scary. How do you get at that gunner unless it's Edia? I guess summon in front of the gate, move it all the way to the gunner, and then just back away with Edia.
I'm
Oh,
still
there you go.
thinking about keeping that Psychic Assault.
They still have another one, right? I think they only used one psychic assault so far. But they,
Yep, one each.
Mhm.
if they discard their card drawing event, I think that's their last one though. Their seek. Yeah. Let's see. Player one played.
You folks ever notice this thing with Eternal Council where their knights always threaten to move in front of your gate?
Sorry,
Like
repeat.
the good players would posture a knight to move in front of your gate,
Ooh.
right? Because I think the best spot in the game, bar none, is EP Mind Knight in front of your gate. I think that's one of the best positions ever.
Yeah, because you just get so much fear value.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's a little bit of tension here um, as Eternal Council and Cloaks, where the knight can't really move in front of the gate that the opponent puts down unless they really let you.
Mm.
But then they can drop a machinist if you do move forward and hit your Mind Knight for 2, or hit your Mind Knight twice.
Mm-mm. That's a good point.
This is cute.
they're gonna move the other advisor, I'm assuming, and just get ED behind the gate.
Behind the gate, yeah.
Mm.
So much thinking because of the card draw.
That is true. The other advisor being that forward,
This is actually
I don't
interesting.
know that Edia. Yeah, no, finish your thought.
I was gonna wonder how Devilfish was gonna do attack order because there's some interesting. if things whiff, it gets interesting. Let's say it that way.
That's so cruel, but you're right. Those are tough. Those are like the dilemmas we love to see and chat about.
Because like, what do you attack first with here? Edia, I guess. But then there's potential. If you
Yeah.
hit with Edia, then the advisor, you're not able to go 2 spaces back. It's like actually a little bit dangerous.
Right. And honestly, Edia behind that gate probably means that she's going to be decently out of the game.
Mm,
With not that much left in her deck, how do you use boost on Edia?
yep.
I don't think, I don't know, unless you really force an insight turn next turn. She's not really a summoner here anymore, other than for the 3 range. If he's moving behind the gate, that's
Mm,
because ideally, maybe you probably want another psychic assault turn, but again, this is a dangerous spot, understandably. Just yeah, her boosts are now just duds. Like even now, getting this one boosted is kind of whatever.
all right.
Interesting.
I'm guessing another gate. Or
Yeah, the last gate, huh?
mm, yep.
Ah, interesting. Really fascinating.
Interesting gate
I
position.
love it.
Yeah, this kind of forces
Mm-hmm.
Devilfish to go in, trying to get out of this.
That's true.
I guess the 2 for 2. What's happening here with the Edia?
EDA forward.
Oh, Edia to the side.
Interesting. EDA forward is actually, yeah, maybe not.
4 for 4.
Yep.
Can't be me.
Like you said, Fuzzy, there's a Breakers player out there yelling at their screen.
Yeah, those range dice cannot be me.
This is why I play Swamp Works, right? You know, I'll.
Very interesting spot. Very, very interesting spot. Machinist drop, maybe. Take out the advisor. And then posture blocks. Uh, third column, maybe beside the machinist. Or behind the 8 gate.
Hmm. I mean, I still much rather be Cloaks here. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the good thing is it's a 45-minute game, so mistakes will happen on both sides. Like it's almost guaranteed.
That's true. That is true.
You don't want a game like this to end on a mistake, but on the other hand, you kind of do. As a second.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm assuming Admiral was discarded pretty early on. There's like so many spots here in the
Uh-huh.
last couple turns. I would have loved Admiral.
How crucial is Admiral Tiriga's game plan on cloaks?
I think, or you can go first, Fuzzy.
Yeah, what's your take, Ozzy?
I
How
don't have
crucial is
anything
he?
dramatic to add other than what you guys already said. The 4th attack is big.
Mm,
I'll say this is probably edge casey, but
mm,
I would say a Katu endgame, and I don't strongly think this is going to be one, but I would characterize a Katu endgame as one where there's a lot of small units left, which happens with
mm,
cloaks, and Idia
mhm,
has enough life for Idia and Katu to kind of tag team it.
mm.
So this is kind of more me just kind of poking at possibilities than predicting what I think is going to happen. But Admiral
Gotcha.
definitely gunks that up.
Mm.
Mm-mm. Uh,
Another tough spot for Eternal Council here.
yeah, this is tricky.
Really tricky.
I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit here, but if we think Admiral's been discarded and Vlox is pretty far from the fray,
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
it's not the worst. You
Mm-mm.
know, I would definitely I think want to finish this out with cloaks. You know, I would definitely want to be cloaks at the moment, but I have seen cloaks fizzle out at the end pretty badly. The problem is it really
uh,
depends on Vlox being more wounded than he is right now.
that's true. Yeah, not with this setup. I don't think. Not with the machine.
Yeah, I'm
With
trying to come up with hope. I mean, I don't like I said, it's not as bad as it could be. I would definitely not write this game off.
Mhm,
You know, Cloaks does have weaknesses, and I think that sort of Vlox gets injured and then fizzles out, or even just
mm,
Vlox isn't like much in the fray. You know,
right.
are two of the things that, you know, can sort of let you snatch victory from the jaws of defeat
Mm,
against Cloaks. You know, especially since Baggins hasn't really been getting a ton of value out of that Mechanist in a corner.
Madness. Yeah.
You know, Vlox hasn't like shot for 8.
Mm-mm.
You know, which isn't to say he always needs to. I mean, sometimes shoot for 4, walk away is enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this isn't the absolute worst. You know, I don't see it snowballing yet, although I do think it is tough to figure out what do you do. I mean, no one wants to end their turn at um possibly 0 at yeah, I guess
Yeah.
0 magic. Oh no, I forgot that. All right, 1 magic isn't really what you want to end your turn on either though.
Yeah. And not discarding anything. Yeah.
Well, like I said,
Uh,
you need those small units to even get up to
mhm,
6 magic for Katu at the end, and
yep.
Baggins is summoning mechanists,
Yep.
which is not the sort of the scraggly cloaks play you want.
Yeah. Ooh, into the
No,
shadows.
Ooh, that's a shadow.
Curious if there's actually
we're
a.
gonna see something crazy.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
interesting. I guess Vlox is, especially with only one magic, Vlox can, definitely push up.
Do some
What
damage.
Vlox is,
Yeah.
Yes.
with this game
Yeah.
placement, it's a little bit hard for Edia to get in the fray.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I think that's the nature of it. You know, Vlox is like Idia can't play an assassination game because Vlox is a mile away,
Mm-hmm.
and she's not well set up for an attrition game.
Yeah.
But it's not a runaway as far as the attrition game is concerned either.
Right.
Okay, so the sage is not dying. Oh, with Into the Shadows, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I think they forgot to get rid of they forgot to get rid of the moto boots. Because I don't
Oh.
see the purpose of the moto boots. Or I guess you push it back too. Yeah, I guess that's fine.
No. Baggins needed the moto boots to get that other machinist in range for the out of shadows.
But is it really worth it, all these cards just for a Sage? Uh, maybe. Maybe they're so
He'd
OP.
probably back away the Machinist
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
with
yeah.
the Moto Boots.
With Motive, yeah.
Yeah.
With versatile.
Honestly, from an entirely theoretical perspective, Eternal Council is on a back foot just simply because of the existence of Moto Boots. They need to move forward and push up against Cloak. Otherwise, there is just not quite the game that you want.
Yeah. I think either, like you said, you need to push up and you need to get the damage on blocks early, just so they're too afraid
Hmm.
to do much.
Yep, yep, just like so.
Mm-mm. Interesting. This is so scary.
Quite
Two
the
Machinists.
fortress.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Double Motoboot Machinist. That's so scary.
And still 4 magic left.
Yep.
you could do a funny here and move the two knights in front. Chip
I was just
away.
Does it work against force units? Uh, that's a move.
Um,
Sad. Not force.
no, yeah.
I think that's the move regardless. I don't know about the other knight. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna do it.
Where's Edia going? Yeah, this gate. I think Devlinfish and I understand why he did it at the time, but I think it's very much not helping him in the econ game because Edia can't really do
Hmm.
much.
Hmm.
Like, what do? You go back with Edia, but then you're forced. You basically need to take 2 turns to even, or 3 turns even to,
Get back in.
yeah, to get back in anymore.
Yeah.
I hate diagonal gate placements.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I ever. Are there any factions? I think,
Diagonal gate placements.
yeah, where it's like a faction which likes doing that.
I think you can do weird stuff against storm goblins, and sometimes you have to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Storm Goblins is the only matchup I can think of because they hate gates so much.
Yeah.
But there's nothing incompatible about hating diagonal gate placements and hating storm goblins. So
At the
like, my
same time.
point stands. No, I don't. I don't actually hate storm goblins. I'm joking. And I mean, well, that's protection against Out of Shadows. I
Yeah.
That is true.
still hate diagonal gate placements. I'm just saying.
Or Tortuga. Yeah, Shadow Elves like diagonal gates also. That is true. Tortugatron said the Shadow
I feel
Elves.
like that's a little bit of a myth. I feel like Vexer made that work once, and in spite of rather than because of the diagonal gate placements, and we just assume no, if Vexer did it, then it's good.
Could
I
be.
mean, sometimes you would see players also double up, stack up a gate on a
Yeah,
single hole.
I think stack gates are
I
really
feel
good.
Um,
yeah, I feel like it's very board dependent when that works, but when it works, you feel like a
Yeah,
genius.
yeah, yeah. Agreed.
I do that. I think with Storm Goblins, I do that all the time. Like playing Storm Goblins, sometimes uh, it's really good having gates stacked on each other. Or Fallen Kingdoms is another one. Where it feels good.
This one is spicy. Learn on Out of Shadows.
Ooh!
Ooh,
Hmm. Hmm. Devlin needs a scholar for that though.
I wonder if Dildo realized it. I mean, they should.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Hmm.
The stack of gunners, or sorry, of machinists is giving me
Yeah.
PTSD. Devilfish is
It's,
gonna have nightmares about this.
I'm feeling like the Mind Knight rage right now.
hmm. Pretty good spot. Okay.
I find
That's
that hilarious. It's like the Machinist sliding block puzzle.
there you go. Smart.
Then it gets yep.
Oh, you got a hopeful 2 for 2 here. Going for the hopeful 2 for 2. Oh, I see.
I like it.
Yeah, I like that.
I didn't even realize we have two pairs of diagonal gates.
So everyone gets clusterfucked.
We just have a corridor of 2 by 2 just to fight it out.
That's cute. Hmm.
Oh, are they machinists? I'm reading the chat.
Machinist or machinist?
Okay, so Colby says machinist, and they should be machinist.
It's one of those tricky ones where machinations is machination, but machine is machine.
I
It's
like
one
the
of
idea of
those.
being like devious in the sense of machination better than machinist in the sense of like building airplanes.
Hmm.
I realize there's an argument either way.
Yeah, they do have a wrench. I guess it works both ways.
In one of the fandoms I follow, there's a similar phenomenon where the community can't agree on how to pronounce a particular thing, and the word is astrologian. Is it astrologian? Is it astrologian? Or
You're talking about Final Fantasy 14?
Final Fantasy 14? Yes, that's
Oh,
right.
that's sick. That game's great.
Yeah. So is it machinist? Is it machinist? Sounds like Colby's got the tiebreakers down. The final word from the boss.
Yep, yep.
I assume no discards here. Still no dagger. And I don't think, is there any bandit left to play? I've not been paying attention to unit counts.
So there's only one more gunner potentially. Let's see.
Mhm.
Player. Oh, player 2, sorry. Yeah, I can't even. What's that card called? I don't know.
First turn dagger discard.
Rust side, I see. So they've only summoned 2 bandits.
Ah, okay.
And then they've summoned 3 gunners, 2 snipers, and then all their
Mm,
machinists. Or I'm assuming all their machinists haven't checked. As Edia, it feels like all the machinists.
what a game.
What Edia would give to have a volcanic blast or volcanics? What is it called? The OD. Just
If only.
if only.
An interesting battle of who gets more mileage out of those 4-2 units, the 4 cost 2 melee units. Because I think
Hmm.
both of those can be a trap. In just you spend all your magic on them and you wonder where they went.
Hmm.
Herr Gratis says
These machinists have been paying off, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Mind Knights don't always.
Hmm.
Mm.
Oh, what did Argrada say first?
Oh, they're betting that dagger was discarded first turn by Dildo. Agreed. An admiral gamer.
Uh,
Who needs dagger?
man, one of those, huh? Psychic assault. Color me Pete.
Interesting.
Mm,
Where do you get the? I could see it if you can get something on Edia's other side,
yeah.
but I don't see how you do that as Eternal Council. Because if Edia's only being attacked by one side, then it's not too bad. Um,
It's just to kill the one machinist, machinist.
yep, yep.
Uh,
Or maybe there's some like 500 IQ into the shadows play to get on blocks, surround blocks this turn.
mm, that that'd be interesting.
And just die to back into blocks, double check.
Like promptly. uh,
Have you guys ever done that? You know you're gonna lose the game. Might as well find the most creative thing you can do that turn. You know.
yeah.
Oh
Just
yeah.
that. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Mm,
Really, as a first one?
yeah, because I don't get any idea.
You're welcome, Devlin.
You and Devlin are IRL friends, right? Or just
Sort. Yeah, we're mates. We're mates. We started the league the same time.
very cool.
Yeah, I think we started the game the same time too.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Also, you're both pretty new then. So just last year, right? It's double or no? Did
2023,
2023.
Crimson Order release. Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's not obvious if you haven't been around a long time. I think there's a big difference between people who started before or after all the podcasting and streaming. Like
That's
really, we
true.
existed like just on Discord and text forever until
Yeah.
Ben started streaming, and then that kind of motivated the podcast guys, Aaron and Jexic, to start to kind of
Start
change their
learning.
idea into gear.
Mm,
Like get a move on this thing that they've been brewing for a while. And I think that's changed the fabric of the community a lot, is just hearing the voices and actually, putting,
ooh,
woof. I was going to say making it more human.
yeah, that's true. I see that there's also Clarissimus with his own streams.
Yeah, the community run tournaments are great.
Hmm.
I mean, those were always there, and there were always people doing individual channels, but I feel like we just got like just this much bigger volume of people bringing on guests, and you don't need your own YouTube channel to just show up and talk
True.
strategy. Like
True.
Prophet and
Very
Vexer
true.
would never have, bothered streaming or making videos, but then when people who are interested brought them on, they're happy to share game knowledge.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
Do you think Vlox kills his own gate this turn? I think you do.
I was gonna say,
Because I
I
think
don't really. I kind of want that gate gone if I'm Vlox.
exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, Edie, do you really want to kill his gate? I guess the only thing they could do, but you can do some, yeah.
I think they're far enough ahead that they don't have to rush to kill it.
True.
Good Lord, all these perfect 3-for-3s. That's a 5-for-5
Breaker's
go.
player is in the negative right now. That Breaker player like rolls and finds that they're rolled like added health.
Exactly. Yeah. The unit went up in
Yeah,
health.
Breaker
Yes, the
players
opponent
on life
goes up in
support.
health.
Breaker players on life support right now.
All right, what do you do as Edia here? You just retreat.
You,
You just lose. You just go for the big play. Hope for. They've rolled so well. Their bad luck has to come at some point. That's what I would do. They need to roll
yeah,
badly at some point, and this is the turn. So just go for it. Yep. That's
that's
what
coping.
I do.
That's coping, but that's. Uh,
Definitely is coping.
oh, this is nice. This might be good. 2 cards left to draw. Get a hit in with the machinist, or on the machinist.
Hmm.
Confirm it with Edia in front of the other machinist with the moto boots. Oh,
Another gate. That'll be amazing. Another gate behind Edia.
mm, no, no. That's the last
I
game.
do janky stuff like that against Cloak sometimes because I have to.
Here it's happening. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. No!
Mm.
When we're out there, Muglug rolled like 4 out of 6.
Hey, that was my game. I, what is that? I paid the sins for Dildo's good or sorry, yeah, Dildo's good dice. Or someone out there. Paid the price.
Yeah, Warren here.
Okay, nice.
Wishful 2 for 2 on that sniper. We got the one. Breakers players momentarily at peace. Still a tough spot for EC. Still a very tough spot.
Did devil fishing? I'm assuming
So
they're
what do you
keeping.
guys think about warning to the side rather than straight back?
It's a good point.
That's Bean's point in chat.
It's a good point.
My
Jury's out.
no, my instinct is I would have gone to the side, but I don't have like an analytical answer why.
I
Well,
mean,
going to the back means you don't benefit from the assault, but
yeah.
there you go. All is as it should be. Yeah.
Media saved from getting hit in the face by blocks.
Mhm.
Oh, I love this. Like the summoners are like, within, face to face with each other. I do invent the little stories in my head of what's going on the battlefield. So this is like the scene in the movie where they're close enough to kind of shout at each other over, across the battlefield and hurl insults.
This is that scene in The Matrix where Neo faces the wise old lady.
True. That's funny.
Out of shadows. Interesting.
I
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was gonna say, Vlox is actually in an interesting position where uh, you can surround him as Edea, and Vlox doesn't have any good moto boots. So she has like probably one more turn after this, hopefully, if there's a gate
Hmm.
behind her.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then you're just
We're
praying
all
No,
rooting
for.
there's
so
no
hard
gate.
for that gate in the
There's
last
no
few
gate.
cards.
You're just
Which
praying
is
that.
probably Katu because no one discards Katu.
True.
Sure.
There has to be a gate. This is the only way this would work.
No. If you remember, the first gate was busted
Just
by
thinking too
Oh,
hard.
true. Yeah, you're right. So there's no more gates.
Yeah.
I think
Nope.
this is the how do I go out in style play.
It's true. That is true. Thing is, you have to warn though.
Oh, are they gonna kiss?
You have to warn, unfortunately, if you want to benefit from psychic assault.
I could ship it Edea and Vlox. No age difference.
Ugh, Cradle Snatcher story, Cougar story, man.
There's definitely. Who was there was someone a while back who was writing fanfic for for
25
summoners.
origami.
Yeah. Those are great.
Yeah,
Those are great.
good stories from origami.
Yep.
No,
And
his
killing the
name
sniper.
Blocks and Sin Sin because of course.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, yeah. There was something like that in the first edition canon, I believe. Oh, yeah. Out of Shadows. Yep. Is this coup de grace? Yeah, this is coup de grace. Oh, wait. How do you get dagger? Ah,
Gunner play probably, or no, Gunner can't. Wait. Oh, yeah, he's substituting.
gunner forward and the dagger.
Yeah, to the
Okay.
side.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Still, dagger or no?
A dagger just for show.
To show
Yeah,
off.
and that is coup de grace. Yeah. And still some game here. Could this be the retaliatory out of shadows play from EC?
Yeah, you can persist out of shadows.
Oh my goodness.
Persist out of shadows. This is winnable. This is winnable.
Stage,
Oh
stage
my
play
god.
here?
Oh, oh.
Don't even dare. Don't even dare.
Don't
There's
do
no flying out of this one.
it.
Nope.
Nope, nope.
No, Baggins. There is no way out.
There's a world, a 7 for 7. Oh my god.
Oh my
This
god.
could be the biggest throw of the century.
Oh my god. What a game.
If there's a sage also, I'm not sure if there's any more sages, but if
What
there
a
is,
game.
this is persist out of shadows. Oh my god. Here it comes.
Score stage. Oh no. That's
Always,
rough.
yeah, that's a rough one.
No unit, huh?
No, you.
Yeah, one Katu. That's rough. Yeah, let's see.
Still possible. 7 for 7. Pray.
It's still possible. Breakers players, turn up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And the first one
Oh,
is
oh,
3 for
oh,
3. It's a 3 for 3.
oh. This is possible. I've seen it. I like the suspense in between attacks. Devlinfish is praying to every.
A second hit.
Oh
Ah,
no!
dream is over. Oh, there you go, Dev.
Damn.
Such is life. Such is life. What a finish, though. Well,
Do you hit the? Or okay. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. GG's. GG's. That was a fun game.
yeah, that was a good one.
Definitely.
That was a good one.
GG.
GG's. Played both sides. Well played. Well played.
Were you sweating at the end, Redacted Baggins?
Oh, absolutely. I was more scared of a stage coming. Yeah, that was my biggest fear at that moment. But, and I also forgot that he still had a copy of my Out of Shadow. So yeah, I started swearing at the end.
Oh, what were the last two cards for you, Dev?
Oh yeah.
For EC? Connection issues for Devlin?
Okay, while he's figuring that out, Redacted Baggins, how did the game go? Compared, like, did it go the way you expected, or?
Honestly, I was expecting to lose. He had a lot of momentum at the beginning. Not like momentum in area, just killing everything I put on the board, not being able to gain ground. That did get on my way, but yeah, I mean, he started playing the events without buff, so yeah, that gave me a lot of freedom to read.
Mm. So was your plan initially to? Because I remember you had a forward gate. Was your plan initially to push up, and then when that gate died and Dev was getting a lot of really good trades, then you pushed back, or was it always to just do a forward gate to threaten and then just go back for the value?
yeah, I mean, my goal was to make him waste the events. For example, when that did gate, I was trying to see if he will play inside on it. Also with Sinsin,
I see.
the same thing with Sinsin, but she died on the first hit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she got,
that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
she got bullied.
Uh, then the bandit, when I played the bandit uh, with the smoke grenade, the same thing. I was trying to see if he will waste assault
Hmm.
on it. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was my play pattern, trying to see if he will waste the events when where I could spend them. Like I
Yeah.
yeah, I can let this thing die if he wasted this card, stuff like that.
Mm.
I see.
But yeah, I mean, it was a good game. Yeah, I think the
Oh,
main
sorry.
problem is that you didn't summon any champions. I was surprised. Like you had 7 magic at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was
hey, can you guys hear me? Sorry, I've just joined.
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. Welcome back.
Cool. Oh man, yeah, I had so much magic and I just couldn't draw a champ. I was desperate for Obi. Oh, that was a fun game. I felt
Did
like I
you
was on
did
the
you
back
It's a
foot
did
fun
you
all
game
the
use
way
to
all?
through.
watch.
I was sweating it. I was sweating it so hard for that game. Like I was constantly. I never felt like I got going. So yeah, it's a tough game, but fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Also, at some point, I had a ton of magic, but I also had no way to use it. Like I had bandits, I had events, and this guy, what was the name? The admiral was my first card discarded in the whole
We were
game.
wondering about that because we were like 7 minutes or
Good.
yeah.
Oh, and dagger was my second to last or last card. I'm not sure. So yeah, I had no way to use my magic until I drew a hand of Machinist at the very end.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Devlin.
Those machinists served you well.
Yeah. I don't think they did much, like in a sense of fighting. They were just sponges for damage.
They were awful. I disagree. I hate those things.
Well, the threat of them and an out of shadows play was bigger than what they actually fucked in the game. I think most of my damage came from the what the name of the girl, I forgot, the
The
woman.
gunner?
That the gunner. And yeah, I'm blocks obviously. Yeah, like I started with the boots and hand cannon in hand. Yeah, like
Oh yeah. That was a very
Yeah,
good
that's
start.
Yeah, he has a perfect hand for to start it out.
yeah.
Uh, Devil, what was your last two cards we were curious about?
well, Katu, obviously. And I made a mistake when I was going to discard Katu because I had Ovi. Ovi was the last card I drew out after Katu was put at the bottom. Um, and so I was meant to discard Katu. That's I had enough for Ovi, but didn't have a Sage or uh, anything else that was going to be able to dish out some better damage, unfortunately. So I had to go for the 7/7, which made it quite a fun watch, probably for people watching, especially after the 3 for 3 came in first, which was quite fun.
Oh yeah.
So I
I
gave it
mean,
some
I've
dramatic pause with my
I've
one
lost
minute
games
left on
like
my
that,
timer.
so yeah.
No, we definitely appreciated if you watch the VOD afterwards, you'll see we were very excited about each roll.
Yeah, I thought to begin with, I got that first gate and I managed to get forwards, and I thought that normally with cloaks, I want to try and get some early damage and try and not let them set up at the back, but I just didn't. I didn't get any gates after that first one for ages.
Oh
And you could probably tell I used a seek when I was just desperately looking for a gate. I was like, come on, I have
yeah.
to I have to find one in here.
Yeah.
We were speculating about that. We were hoping you had Obi or something more pleasant
I wish, yeah,
than a desperate gate search.
yeah. Ovi would have been lovely there, but nah, I didn't get Ovi until right at the end. So yeah, I was in trouble, champ wise, and yeah, and unfortunately, I had to put things forwards when I knew that like I hate putting a unit down when you know that they can summon a machinist or machinist right next to it. I don't know how you're meant to pronounce that, but I always say machinist, but I've heard people say machinist. But yeah, so when they get that double hit on a sage or something like that, it's rough. So but yeah, no, I had to go really kind of. I never got boost going on Edia, so I had to be really kind of savvy with how I was trying to use my assaults and things like that. But it was fun. Really made me think, that one. That was tough.
Yeah, what is the winner of this matchup? Like both try to do the same thing. Like you want to get as much damage on area as fast as possible, and they want to do the same thing
Yeah.
to blood. So yeah, well, what is the winner of that? Who has much more success in that? Do we have a league matchup for that?
I think we did. We Let's see. SW.
I don't recall one during my
Oh,
time.
we don't.
Yeah, I think we do. Because we had some other tundra, or sorry, not tundra orcs. We had swamp orcs versus Edia. That was a crazy one.
That was a really fun one. I liked that one a
Big
lot.
cannons. Yeah.
Like they were just like these two. There's some word. Yeah, they were just like the two giants, kind of circling each other, like not daring to get too close, but really wanting to. That was a fun one.
Yep.
I honestly thought that one was when that one I actually played a few practice games, and I thought it was like, oh gosh, Muglig's got this. And it took a while to dial in Eternal Council and realize, no, you have to know Eternal Council and Swamp Orcs well. But it felt a lot more even than my initial impressions. I think the stats bore that out too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm not.
haven't played that game much. Sorry.
Yeah, no, don't worry. Go ahead.
I mean, I think that's our
Yeah,
closest analog to this one, and it's not even that close. I don't think we play, or at least I haven't played Eternal Council versus Obsidian Dwarves, which is the other one where you're like, who's gonna get their shot off first?
Who's gonna explode first? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a more exclusive one is Obsidian Dwarfs versus Wayfarers. I doubt I had a game that lasted more than 10 turns in that matchup. Both rush forward, and if you die, you die. Like. Yeah, but like, what was the other one? No, I forgot what I wanted to say. Sorry.
What were you gonna say, Devil?
I was gonna say I find this quite a tough matchup. I think on my record on this, it's even even record on this one. I think 5-5. So I just find whenever you're playing someone like Vlox, it's always tough because they can get massive damage on you. And that's what you want, isn't it? You just want to try and dish that out. But once Vlox had that corner machinist, it was so hard because I couldn't play range game because Vlox was just gonna be able to poke me, and I needed a gate to try and move up and get some assault going. But yeah, it was really tricky.
Yeah, I think it is a hard matchup. Yeah, like Eddie often wants to
I
trade
tried to lure
blows,
you in.
but trading one bad blow with against cloaks just means you get out of shadows out of the game, and yeah, it's.
Yeah, I tried to lure you in. I tried to kind of, because I had an assault and a seek. So there was one. I can't remember which turn it was. It's pretty early. It might have been around 6 or 7 or something like that when I left Eddie next to my gate, and I wanted to try and lure you in. So you brought some units up with Out of the Shadows. So then I could. I thought I'd be able to destroy all 3 units around me and try and get some momentum going, but you didn't take the bait, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was actually mind games because I never had out of shadows until after the mid game. But
Okay,
everyone
interesting.
knows the threat of the card, so yeah, you just put the unit like if you were planning for an out of shadows turn, but you really have nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had both. I had, I think, both of my insights on my opening hand, So
Yeah.
that was
Yeah, I guess that was fair.
so
Never seen the other one.
yeah, that was really, I hate that. That was really tricky. So and no
That's
seats
rough.
at that point to just kind of use one early and go for try and put pressure on your 10 gate or something like that. So that's why I had to use it really early with no boosts. But yeah, but I knew I was going to lose that one on the econ, so I decided I held on to my learn for a little while, waiting until you outshadowed, knowing I was going to steal it, thinking I had to make an outshadows play to try and win that one towards the end. So yeah, I was purposefully waiting for the outshadows so I could steal that and try and make something happen. But it was a little
Yeah,
bit too late for me to
I
have units to
actually
do it.
didn't realize you had Out of Shadows until you played it.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah, because when you play Learn, I was like, oh, is that a bug? Why does he have one bust on Learn? Like, did he get the gate that I destroyed myself? And I was just thinking that, like, is that a bug? Until you play Out of Shadows, and yeah.
Yeah, I just thought, well, I'll try and surround him and get lucky on the dice, but yeah, wasn't to be. But it was good though.
Where is
Say
Eden?
this, this
What
one.
a lazy host. Where is Eden?
He's sending. I think he's putting some gifts in Discord probably. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he's definitely in chat.
Yeah, he's active in chat.
I think chat is going to remember this game mainly as the one where everyone debated Machinist versus Machinist.
Oh, really? Was that debate going on? Was it? That's funny.
Someone.
Well, I knew at the end. I was like, even if it was a neutral game, I knew that when everyone would have been rooting for the 7 out of 7 at the end, so I knew I'd have some support on that last
Yep.
move.
Yeah, that was a good closer for sure.
That was a great ending. Great ending to the game. Lots
Yeah.
of drama. Yeah.
And I was forced to do some funky gates as well. I hated having to put that diagonal gate down to block off the outer shadows, but that's what Vlox does to you. It forces you to do some weird stuff to try and block the outer shadows, even if they don't have it. So that scuppered me later on. That restricted my movement to try and get Eddie across to the right hand side to try and fight over there. So I was forced down that left hand side. But
we felt your pain at every step. We've all been there, like the janky gate placement because you have to, and then paying for it turn after turn.
But now that was good fun. I've enjoyed it.
Goes down in my books also as yet another Sin Sin is a trap game. Yet another Sin Sin early and it didn't actually win you the game.
I know. I was like, when I got that Sin Sin kill, I was like, right, that's 4 magic. Ovi, I just need to draw Ovi, and then try and keep that ticking over, and it just never came. So I ended up having to spend it all on stages, and yeah.
You mean Katu, Fuzzy, right? Or are you talking about Sin Sin?
Oh no, I'm talking about when he blew up Sin Sin early.
I see.
I've just had more games than I can count where, I'm celebrating a Sin Sin kill and it doesn't actually do anything for me. Like I should have just ignored her.
Yeah, and this was a very efficient kill.
Really ignore her, but she was just standing there baiting you.
Yeah, and
I mean, our range dice that game were insane though.
One hit, one kill. Sometimes you waste so much stuff trying to kill her and you lost anyway.
No, that was a very efficient Sin Sin kill, and it was still like, nope, she was.
Some of those range dice this game were pretty crazy. I don't know what the hits were, or whether they evened out by the end. But the first half felt like we were both
a lot
just
of 33s.
Fun.
Yeah, I actually run the the analyzer after the Sin Sin hit, and yeah, it even out at the end very well. Like both of us were above the expected percentage. Like, but the difference was I was like 4%, and at the beginning you were like 13, 15% above. Like it was like,
No, our running joke was that for every 3 out of 3 you guys landed, a Breakers player somewhere was going 0 out of 0 for 3 and just like weeping.
Yeah, you guys made a poor new player picks up Breakers first time, thinks it's a cool deck, and just keeps, doesn't hit anything and quits the game.
I do the same, and I am not a new player.
Yeah, you take the day off from playing after a few whiffs.
Yeah, every time I just log a Breakers game, I am already preparing my mind to just be angry the whole day,
I really love playing Breakers. And it's not even masochism, it's just when it's working, it's so mean. Like, it's so mean to have, like, this Kalal that never dies.
Oh yeah, like my Breaker wins. I don't even think I play Breakers well, but they are usually just like cheese wins, like I don't know, rushes forward and gets surrounded by 3 deceivers, something like that. That's my average win with Breakers. I don't think my like playing the ranked game works for me with them.
No, my best game ever, like the one that like I promise I'm not taking this lightly, but like if I've lost all my memory of all but one game, like the one I would keep is the one where the league game, like Breakers versus High Elves. I somehow managed to use Takulu's ability on a War Arbiter and keep him alive. Like, I escorted him back to my back row and just kept him alive the entire game. And
Like a
like
war prisoner, yeah.
that was like my best moment of Summoner Wars ever. Like, it was just the meanest thing to have like this Wind Archer, like pop out, hit for 5, and then get pulled back in.
That's amazing.
I mean, it'll never happen again, but that's like my top Summoner Wars moment.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I'm
Which
trying to
is
think
one
of
of the
the.
best units. It's very sad that Breakers are not really like fun to play usually because of the dice, but Which is carry the whole faction in fun and everything.
Yeah, agreed.
I really feel like they're, like I wouldn't pick them for a tournament, but I don't play the big hat plaid hat games tournaments anyway.
I played them for my first tournament thinking I was good with them and lost for all the games.
I like the community tournament formats, like the tournament formats, where like you just kind of have to play all the factions, so you don't feel bad for picking something like Breakers. That's so good in some matchups. I still haven't played Breakers versus Shadow Elves. Like, some people were talking about that on I don't know, someone's stream or podcast, I don't remember which, and like the minute they mentioned it, I was like, oh my god, that's so intriguing. And you know what it was? It was Vexer thought Breakers were actually good in that matchup. And when
Yeah.
when does Vexer ever think anyone is favored in a Shadow Elves matchup? But he said he only played it once. And I've played it 0 times, but that one definitely intrigues me, just by virtue of how miserable each faction can make the other.
Yeah. Do I have
I
a?
always think breakers seem really tempting for new players as well, because the idea of taking over somebody else's unit is quite exciting as well, isn't it? Like that feels like a fun mechanic to be able to take use of. But then they're just going to drive themselves crazy learning how horrible range dice are. So
It's tough. Like, I feel like my big mistake as a new player with Breakers was just not knowing how to protect fragile units. So like Mind Witch attacks once and then dies. And it's easier, I think, to learn with something like, or at least for me, with something like Mountain Vargath that like, they expose themselves and live another turn anyway. Like I think that instinct to just sort of run up and attack does not work with Breakers, but it does work with Mountain Vargath and a couple others.
Especially if you don't keep your archers safe.
Exactly.
you end up wasting so much magic getting new ones out all the time, and that can be a really tough thing to manage. So.
I mean, I love the deck. It really is one of my favorites. I do think the other, I think Kalal is actually fairly costed. Like, she's worth her 7 when you play, when the board state is right. But, I think the other 2 are 1 cost too many, and there's no reason for Blast to be 1 magic. So small tweaks would definitely make them better. And then the ranged dice just kind of are what they are. It is what it is. Like, that's that faction's shtick.
Speaking of small tweaks, one small tweak EC could get, we here in chat were talking about earlier, was if Shove from Mind Knight could move Summoner, that would easily put EC to S tier.
Yep.
Oh,
that would be
so
crazy.
Awesome.
That would be crazy.
That would
strong,
be
wouldn't
nice.
It? Yeah.
That would be nice. I
Just
don't know about you guys. That would be nice.
Like Mind Knight being able to like whack blocks into Edia cannon range.
Hey, if Mountain Vargas could do it, why not EC?
I can't remember who it was on Discord that was. Who was it that was doing like the question of what small tweaks would end up breaking a deck, and they put it in pretty much every faction.
That was your opponent.
Was that Baggins who did that? Yeah. That was fun. I enjoyed it. That was a really fun thought process.
Yeah, I don't even remember what I said for Eternal Council. Like, yeah,
and it was just like lots of little tiny tweaks.
Yeah, I mean that's a good one to break the faction, absolutely. But I don't think I thought of that. I think I only thought about Assault 3 out of 3. Yeah, I think that's the only thing I thought of. Yeah, I don't really remember much.
Assault range
I remember
3
that.
would be
That was
crazy.
some really interesting conversations. What was that? Sorry, I missed that.
Oh no, Assault Aura 3 would be crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I found my comment. It is just I don't know how to make this guy S tier. That's what I say.
Oh, which one? Wait, which ones did you not know how to make S tier?
This one. But yeah, that's a good one. Like the soap with Magnites. Yeah, that's a good one.
I love it when a small tweak makes a big change, and that one would just be so awesome.
Yeah, we should have a tournament for that. Make every faction S tier and just go bananas with them.
Oh my gosh! If the mythical Steam with mods. That would just be the funniest. That would just be fun. Like, just you go ham with every single faction. It's just, you know what it is? It's deck building.
True.
Deck building's been broken for a while.
Yeah, Yexi is probably angry just listening to this segment.
There were so many moments where we could have put in a plug for deck building that I think we missed. We're just talking about just kind of these, seemingly overpowered factions with checks and balances. I appreciate deck building. I feel like it's just more overhead than I can handle. But
so it's scary to step into.
But I definitely appreciate that it's not like just a matter of who has the most overpowered build, good game. I definitely appreciate the nuance, the checks and balances in the community. And it does
checks and balances. I don't know that there's a deck yet that beats. Honestly, who was it that broke that mode? Cheez-Its, Celandar deck. I don't know that there's a check and balance against that yet.
Crimson Order deck?
No, the Celandar deck, the Shadow Elves deck build deck.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a deck that beats that yet.
No, I was following the arguments on Discord because it's interesting, but without playing, I don't have, I just don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
I like deck building, but the goofy kind of deck building, not the competitive.
Oh yeah.
Like mind witch, goofy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like I had a deck that was way fairer 0 goals. Like there was no team there. Only that my units were to be 0 cost and just play uh, pile on and try to one shot summoners, and it worked. It worked an amazing amount of times. I was really surprised.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean that's the kind of stuff I like. Yeah, like a deck of only demons, or yeah,
Yeah.
wacky stuff like that, or
Mhm.
garbage
Yeah.
tournament, the garbage champions tournament.
Oh, I'm
I don't
so
remember the name.
sad that second garbage gladiators tournament just ended. like everyone just sort of wandered off without finishing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the first one had a winner. I think Ben won it, but the second one, I think just whoever was like just people were slow finishing their games, and it just kind of it's the only tournament I think that's just fizzled out like that. Like
Oh,
even
that's
like
sad.
even with Shibata's tournaments, when he runs a little bit slow as the organizer because life gets busy, the games get completed eventually.
Mhm.
But the second Garbage Gladiators game, like, it just somehow never finished.
Oh well,
But
that's
it
sad.
was fun. I have to admit, there was something about trying to build a really bad deck that was less intimidating than trying to build a really good deck.
Sounds fun. Especially if you accidentally give them something that happens to combo well. If you hadn't even thought about it, you'd be like, oh, yeah.
It is surprising how hard it is to really give them nothing. Like, you end up, I mean, that's what's kind of fascinating, is you end up giving them something. And then the format was that you had to make 2 decks of different factions, and the opponent got to pick one of them. So there's a
Okay.
little bit of metagame at that level too, when you're like reading the decks, and maybe you spot, a combo, and it's kind of a crappy
But they're
combo
just
for normal play,
loads
but
of
it's
Ava.
overpowered. And
Just loads of Ava deck building decks with no no area units in there. Well, that would just be nasty.
I think Ava I don't remember it all, but I think Ava herself was surprisingly good. So it wasn't really as simple as it looked to build a bad deck. Like, every
Sounds
deck
quite fun,
ended
actually.
up having something. I think Takulu was really good. Like, her ability in a world of really awful decks was just a nightmare.
It's actually all right. Yeah.
And I don't
I don't
remember
know
I
if any
don't
of you have
remember
played.
I don't remember all the nuances, but they were interesting, and not all of them were expected.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about nasty deck building combos. I don't know if anyone's played Cheez-Its Balzar deck that they're using at the moment, or that they have been using, which
Devlinfish?
has got Zeal and Purge
Zeal?
in there. So Balzar can just travel as far as he wants, and then just volcanic
That's
blast
amazing.
you. It's awful.
Zeal is so good.
Yeah, it's really good fun.
Yeah, a little bit off topic, but what do you guys think about Filth and the Tree faction? They're doing actually both really well in Plat Hat division.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a good one.
Honestly, it's
I
been
enjoy
my
Filth.
favorite release pair since Shadow Elves Wayfarers. Like,
It's
I just like both. Like, just, not just I appreciate it intellectually, like Eternal Council, but I really love both those factions. The
Yeah,
same way
there's,
I
there's
felt about Shadow Elves Wayfarers, and there hasn't been a release in between that kind of pushed the buttons the same way.
yeah. I'm trying to think. I've only been around. I think the first release. I think I came in whilst it was Crimson Order had just come out. I think that had already been released, and then I started playing. But I think there's always been factions where like I couldn't stand Crimson Order, like I just hated them and I never played them, and then same with Deepwood Groaks. I tend to just have a faction that I just really dislike for some reason or another. If they're overpowered or something about them I don't like playing against. But this is the first release where I really enjoyed both of the new factions. Like I enjoyed playing against them. I haven't played much with Chosen Grove, but Filth are good fun to play with. So
Yeah, I actually don't
yeah,
like
I've just
Chosen
started trying to
Grove.
play.
Like I don't mind. Yeah, no, I don't even like playing them. I mean, I like it, not like I hate it. It's like a 6 out of 10 experience for me. because every game is just so long. I just
Yeah, yeah.
there's no fast games with Chosen Grove. You are here until you have to stay in this game until my deck runs out. Like that's the game, and
I think
uh,
That's what I
thinking about
love
Chosen
about
Grove.
those slow factions.
yeah,
Thinking
you're
about
not getting
Chosen
out of
Grove.
this game until I want to. Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean Chosen Grove with like the with EC like against Eternal Council, I just always feel so bad because
Oh yeah.
when you've got a fully boosted Edia and you can't run away from it, it just feels really unfair. Like it's just like I think my record against Chosen Grove with Eternal Council is something like 8-1 or something stupid like that. Um,
Yeah, I can't do
Yeah,
much.
and it's even worse with Balsar because at least with Edia you have time until she has the combo. Balsar just starts raging
just sitting there.
from the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to me how like I would never say Wayfarers is an S tier faction. It's probably like A, but the
Oh,
last two
do
tournaments.
not say that. Do not say that in front of Astro Cosmos and a bunch of people. They would have a
I think it's
word with you.
but they do so well these past. It's interesting their win rate since they've been released, where it's usually like around 50%. But the last two
Mhm.
tournaments, especially, just because of I think the meta decks, they have such a high win
Yeah,
rate.
yeah, that's true. That's true. And you see that phenomenon too with fungal dwarves, right?
Hmm.
Because it's the meta deck. Like fungal dwarves used to be so strong in a world before so and so existed, before Storm Goblins existed. But then after Storm Goblins released, and that release basically, Tundra Orcs became good,
Yeah,
or at least more meta. You know, so it's surprising how the meta ebbs and flows like that.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, Wayfarers against Eternal Council are just, I think, the worst. For me, it's like the hardest matchup for Eternal Council. It's
Oh,
just dreadful.
Mm.
even
Yeah,
worse than Cloak.
I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think my
Mm.
record against Wayfarers is horrendous. It's so hard to block. It's just so hard to block the push from Wayfarers whilst you're trying to build up boost, and yeah, it's an awful matchup. I think for EC. I don't know. That might just be me. There might be other people that don't find it too bad, but I think it's probably my worst EC matchup. I think.
That's very interesting. Because you'd
Mm,
think that it's kind of the opposite of the Cloaks matchup, where the Cloaks matchup they kind of want to stay away from you and explode
yeah,
in a moment. But with Wayfarers, they push up against you, they make Psychic Assault easier for you, and you can play your usual game on your side of the field. But yeah, defending against Wayfarers is can be
Yeah.
tricky.
And Wayfarers don't even care if you get boost. Like they send units
Yeah.
to die at you. Like yeah, just kill it.
yeah,
Throw 8 dice at it.
Yeah.
I don't need it anymore.
yeah. All you do then is just create gaps for slip by to come into, and yeah, it's yeah, I find it really tough. Find it really tough.
Yeah, but I am really surprised by their win rate. Like this is the A tournament, you know? Like what's the excuse? Everyone knows how to play. Like the initial arguments against Wayfarers is that like, oh yeah, if you know the tricks, there's no way you can die to them. Like they have 63 win rate in the A tournament. Like everyone here knows how to play well.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's all
Yeah, it's
the
been
Storm
fun watching
Goblins
this tournament.
players.
Yeah, they're all struggling. Yeah, Storm Goblins are, I think, having played them a bit, it's like interesting because they're kind of like cave goblins where you just have some matchups you're 70% favored, against like you said, fungal dwarves. Other matchups against wayfarers or tundra orcs you just lose.
You just lose. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can't do much. Yeah, I think Chosen Groves doing close to 60% is super surprising for me because I thought they were like a really fun, well-designed faction, but I never thought them as a strong faction. To be honest, I have to watch some of
I
their games.
No, same.
don't know what I would have picked if I'd entered this one. I absolutely just couldn't
Mm.
logistic wise, but I would have gone against Vexer's advice and just tossed Chosen Grove into the ring, like out of sheer wanting to, out of sheer wanting to bring them to the tournament.
You know, that's actually a really good point, Fuzzy, because there's a person here in this room that we should absolutely ask who their 4 picks would have been, and it's Baggins. Because you missed the tournament
Oh
invite.
yeah, I'm so sad of
Yeah.
that. Maybe maybe I mistook the notification for some of Eddie notifications and ignored the whole tournament. Uh, yeah, I was so sad when someone posted tournament started. Yo, what? What tournament?
Yeah, yeah.
I felt so bad about that because I was a little bit AWOL during that period. So you would think any of the mods would have thought to post, just repost in like news and announcements. But,
Mhm.
both you and Water D were like, I missed this one. And I've even promised one full tournament ago, like Waterdy had even messaged me like, hey, we were just chatting and he was like, hey, I'm not on Discord much, but can you ping me when the next tournament starts? And the next tournament started and I think he figured it out for himself. And I didn't even think to ping him for this one because I was actually off Discord for a while. And then I come back, like I caught up on the entire tournament thread last night. And I was just kind of like, oh crap, when I saw that both you and Water D had just missed the tournament out of not knowing about it. Which I think is
Yeah,
easy if
but
you just haven't opened up the app in a while or haven't,
yeah,
or assumed that like the news and announcements channel in Discord would cover
yeah,
it.
I think at that time I was just playtesting with Vexer, like grinding games day and night, and I never opened the app. Yeah, like, yeah, I don't need to play more. Like, so why will I open the app? Yeah, but yeah, my pings. Honestly, I think I will just use the randomizer again. Like that, I don't think much about what to pick. Like cloaks, I don't even like the cloaks. I just run the randomizer for this. Yeah. Oh well, I guess I'm playing cloaks for 4 games.
Salute, man, salute.
Yeah, I picked DC just because they really push you on time. So it's and normally you'd like to have more time with EC. So I just like that challenge. The time always runs so low whenever I play EC. Because just a turn takes ages. Even if it's not thinking time, it's just taking your turn just takes a long time.
Oh
That's
Um,
true.
I just wanted to put myself under a bit of time pressure. So yeah.
Oh, I don't know why. Like, I like complex factions, but EC just like it sends my brain into overload. It's funny because I would have definitely picked for the tournament like Sand Goblins, Shadow Elves, and Filth, which I think have a lot in common.
Mm.
And they're all crunchy factions, but I think they just don't hit me quite the same way as Eternal Council, and I couldn't tell you why.
Do you guys feel? Oh, sorry, go on.
I I don't know. I never will put Eternal Coldfield as a complex faction because I don't know. I don't really think much with them. Like maybe there's some nuance in what you put in the bottom of your deck and what to draw or playing sick at the beginning even if nothing is up. But I don't know. I just I don't know what I do with them. I just have a decent win rate with them, but I never have a solid plan with them. But yeah, it's very true that they take so much time in this kind of even if you are not
Mhm.
thinking because
Yeah,
click on a soul, draw card,
yeah,
click.
yep.
Yeah, yeah, I never thought of them that way. Honestly, yeah, that's a good point.
Mm,
Talking about new factions, which one of the new two are you most excited about for the next release? Because I haven't
Oh,
seen.
that's a cool question to ask everyone here. Yeah, I'm actually curious what everyone thinks of the new releases. The Isle of Vekids and the Spectral Conclave. What's everyone most excited for?
I mean, I think I'm
I'm excited
most
because the
excited about.
playtesters are excited. I'm excited because I've kind of, sort of heard good things, but the truth is I don't
Hmm.
pay that much attention until the cards are actually
Are
out.
actually out? Ah,
Yeah.
Mm.
gotcha. Conceptually, though,
I just
Fuzzy, if you
I
had to
just
pick one.
In this case, it's just theme. Like, I like the party lizards.
Noted. Blooded
Party
gotcha.
lizards. I like that.
Yep. The Vlock
I,
Blizzard.
I think Conclave look like they're going to be funky. Like there's going to be all sorts of stuff going on with them.
Well, expect that.
And
Expect that.
Yeah, the conclave
yeah,
is one
so
of my favorites. Like the it's I mean it's not even the gameplay, the art is just so beautiful that they instantly were one of my favorites, you know?
Yeah,
well, they've got S
agree.
tier
Yeah, that
symbol as
that
well, in my
was.
opinion.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember. So funny enough, Devlin is also actually a playtester, and
Yeah,
one of the first few things that we talked about was when the Spectral Conclave faction symbol came out, and I was like, oh, this art is so beautiful. This faction logo is so beautiful. Easily the best one out of all the faction symbols that I've seen. Chosen Grove is also up there,
yeah.
but man,
I love the faction symbol. Just that alone is going to make me play them more. I think I just want
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Gosh,
badge. I
where
want
the
that
For my
badge
hell
on
part,
am
I
I?
think
my.
Spectral Conclave is the
Where
one I'm more
can I
excited
find this
about.
faction symbol? I actually don't have. Let me find a preview or something. I need to see this now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
if
main
if you
fear
have a
is
look at
that Spectral
Conclave.
Conclave will end up being something like Storm Goblins. Like no, not a lot of people will play them in because it is a weird gameplay. Like once the other cards release and you start seeing some games, it is a weird gameplay. But it is so fun, really.
Oh, that
Yeah,
fox.
I'm looking
That
forward
is
to that.
super cute. Or is it like an owl? Oh,
Yeah,
that is a cool faction symbol because I have no idea what it is. It's
yeah.
like a mask thing.
Yeah, exactly, and that too. It's a very loaded symbol that captures the faction aesthetic so well. And the faction art itself, like the summoner, the units later on that you guys will see, they're very cool looking.
The events when they did you see the events that they will leak?
No, have they leaked? I don't think so,
Yeah,
Baggins.
yeah. They leak. I think that it's
Did
at
they?
least on leash. I think like
Yeah,
I
no. Well,
saw some.
Colby showed us a bunch of previews on his stream back when he was streaming, and then
Uh,
still screen captured it and posted it to I think the spoilers channel.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I think it's pinned there. It was a while back. It was a long time ago. Like Colby was just sort of
Yeah,
tossing out
it is
spoilers
pinned.
right and
It is
left
pinned.
that day. And I think Tortugatron and others just like immediately reported back to the Discord everything he'd said.
Yeah, I think. I mean, the Beckets are also very fun. I think both factions are really good. Like, um, Beckets are more about a fundamental faction. You know, like if you're a good
Yeah,
player
agree.
with good solid fundamentals of the game, the Beckets will
Hmm.
you will like the Beckets.
Agree.
And the other one is, you know, if you like complex factions. I mean, it's not really that complex. It's just very unique.
hmm.
Yeah.
They look like they're going to be super
People
summoner focused. So
misunderstood when I made that like tier list of weird factions and tier list of vanilla factions, so I never even finished. But I think the point I was trying to make was that like I kind of when Waterdeep was talking about like what's your design tier list, I was just like I can't put those on the same scale. I feel like the weird factions should push the envelope and the vanilla factions should bring us back to fundamentals. Like I don't think one's better or worse than the other, but you need both and you can do such different things with them.
I just thought that I would put Fallen Kingdom at the end of both lists.
No, I actually divided for what it's worth. I'm not going to defend a tier list that didn't really land, but no, I think I had one tier list with like sort of who pushed the envelope best. Who got away
Mm.
with being weird the best.
And
So
who
I mean,
was it?
God, I have to scroll up to remember. I
It
think
has to
Eternal
be Storm
Council is up
Goblins.
there. Yeah,
Oh,
Eternal Council
interesting.
was up there as in like, especially for its time, like 8 attack was unheard of. So I mean, I think I said, it was like Eternal Council did weird, better than Storm Goblins because I thought, I don't like how polarizing Storm Goblins is. But it doesn't mean it's a bad faction. I think if you're pushing the envelope, you're going to create stuff people don't like. Think of a band's sophomore album where the first one was popular, and are they just going to rehash popular, or are they going to go somewhere in a completely new direction and alienate some of their fans who just want more of the same?
Yeah.
So I feel like, for me at least, Storm Goblins has to exist in order for Eternal Council to knock it out of the park. But that's subjective anyway. But then the vanilla factions, I don't think I should be grading Vanguards on a scale of how weird are you. I grade it on the scale of is this a good intro faction for new players? Does it, is it satisfying to play in a Summoner Wars fundamentals kind of way? So and I actually had my favorite factions. I don't consider Sand Goblins or Shadow Elves excessively weird. I think they're in between. They're not a brand new mechanic, but they're crazy flexible. So it wasn't that weird or vanilla was good or bad. It was just that I didn't want to be ranking Mountain Vargath on a scale of how far did you push the envelope. Because I think Mountain Vargath is maybe my top vanilla faction of I think this is just good, solid Summoner Wars. And it doesn't need to be this brand new mechanic that no one understands at first.
Yeah. No, I
I
get
think
you.
for me,
That
I
makes
will
sense.
put fungal darts in the top of, special factions. I just like them very much. I think it's the only faction that has pushed the kill your own units theme very well. Well, Storm Goblin exists, but not with attacks.
Fungal Dwarves Eternal Council is also those are my top 3 release pairs, which I won't try to rank, are Fungal Dwarves Eternal Council, and after that came Shadow Elves Wayfarers, and then after that came Chosen Grove Filth. Those are my top 3 release pairs in no particular order. I just feel like both factions in the context of the one it was paired with just added so much to the game. I loved Fungal Dwarves when they first came out. I didn't really stick with them the way Aaron did, and making himself the Fungal Dwarves guy, but that was definitely part of what got me sucked into Summoner Wars of just, this is cool.
Yeah, see, I wasn't around for the Fungal Dwarfs release, so I just got annoyed by them playing against them, and then I think they just became one of those that that I didn't want to bother playing with. I think that tends to happen to me quite often.
Yeah, I think that's when I started playing online at that release, and I tried sticking with Fungal Dwarfs, but at that time I was not really a good player, so I was struggling a lot with them because I even at this time I really don't like discarding cards that much. And Fungal Dwarfs, you need to discard your first two hands. There's no
Yeah.
other way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a lot of inconsistency with them, and I thought they were really bad at the beginning. Then I got better at the game, got back to them, and I actually love them now. But at the release, I thought Eternal Concept were OP, incredible OP at the beginning when I didn't know how to play. What am I supposed to do against them? I can't hit them, and I can let them hit me. Yeah, I didn't know how to play against them. I think they are okay now. Yeah, I think that's the faction that has switched the most in tears in my head.
I love that about Eternal Council is that it became this both those factions, it was really this collective puzzle solve on Discord. What on earth do we make of these things? Is Eternal Council OP? Is Fungal Dwarves OP? Just how do you play? I think it was it's really a collaborative spirit more than anything else. That's really what drew me into the community. It's okay, I like these people. We nerd out over the same stuff. Oh my gosh, replying
Yeah,
to
I mean,
Eden about those Fallen Kingdom champs not being 666. No, someone had a really good solution to that. Like they wanted like Illut Ball to stay 6 cost, but you could retrieve him from your discard pile at any time.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
Oh,
was
good
like
lord.
based no, so it was
No.
like a stealth discount. Like it was a stealth 1 cost discount because you discard him for magic and then like summon him the next turn.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So he's really 5 magic, summoned a turn later. And then the weird case of like getting to summon him twice, you probably don't have the magic for that. And if you do, good on you. Like, you deserve the win.
We have to stop making one-shot factions good.
No, but that's the Illut Ball fix that I would want, is just like keep that printed number 6, but really he costs 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I just will redesign Fallen Kingdom. Like, I don't like most of the events. I don't like any of the champions. I like the 6-6 team. I am not against it. I will just buff them. I will just buff the 3 champions. I think Porch is weird. Like, I will never understand how Porch works if I didn't play online, and even then, I don't know how it works.
Yeah,
Sometimes I just skip the
exactly. I
turn and I am dead.
drag stuff around and see if it's legal.
Yeah. I think what's the other one? Blood Summon. I think
Blood
Blood
Summon,
Summon
I
just
can't
yeah.
stand.
I will totally like something I will do is just nerf Blood Summon somehow. I don't know how really, but just nerf it. And they made Elud Ball be able to be summoned from hand after a unit dies on the field. Maybe if an enemy unit dies on the board, it's OP. But maybe if one of yours dies and you can summon Elud Ball, maybe that's okay. Uh, but yeah, I really don't like the faction playing against it because there's no safe spot, Like
Yeah.
anytime I click skip turn, I'm just trying to see if I die or if I am suddenly surrounded out of nowhere, or playing against someone that I know is good, and I see he's not discarding any single card, and I'm like, oh, this guy has it. This guy has Blood
He's got
Summoning
it.
hand.
Yeah.
As see the Bean game. That's a funny one. Before Bean happened, had that happen against him. He was playing Doctor Doom, I think, as CG, and it looked like such a win position, and then just Blood Summon happened, and Bean just lost.
He did the same thing to me. That's the player I'm talking about. We were
Oh.
playing and he didn't discard a single card for 2 turns, and I'm like, oh, this guy has that summon. And then I mid-step and I died.
Oh, so
No, Doctor Doom is the one that, kind of turned me against Crimson Order. Like I've been, and I've been maintaining for so long that like, hey, Crimson Order has weaknesses. It's not as overpowered as people claim, and then like I played Doctor Doom like 2 games where I think he had really good devout cultist luck, and I was just like, it sucks. I hate this faction. Like,
Yeah, they're just scary. They're just scary to play against, aren't they?
Yeah, and he's a very good player, and regardless of what faction he plays, he's really
Yeah.
good.
He's also playing Eternal Council this season.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah.
I only have 4 games against him: 2 against Crimson Order, 1 against Sand Goblins, and 1 against Deadwood Rogues. Yeah, somehow managed to win the games against Crimson Order, lost the other 2. But the other 2 I was playing Shadow Elf. Yeah, that explains why I lost. Yeah.
No, the other thing Doctor Doom is great for is really hot takes on Discord. Like the pull no
Oh.
punches tier lists.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen
Well,
Doctor Doom.
it's AMYKS is
I didn't know that.
as far as we
Is Doctor
know.
Doom hands one?
Oh,
As
really?
far as we know, yes. And he's never
I
confirmed
didn't know
or
that.
denied, but
I didn't know that.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
he has not confirmed or denied, but the not denied part I think is telling.
No one's ever seen him in the same room at the same time.
It's the only thing that makes sense, and he has not denied it.
I mean, how do you know it's not me?
True.
I think it takes a particular combination of personality and playstyle to kind of do the stuff
That's
he
true.
does and then talk about it on Discord the way he does. Like, it's very distinctive.
Definitely, yeah.
True. Yeah, him
Cool.
and
Right.
Water D.
I've just seen the time. I'm gonna have to dip. This has been. I've been chatting for way too long, which is great. I've loved it, but I'm gonna have to go. Sorry.
No
Yeah.
worries.
I'm
Great
cooking
game.
dinner
Yeah,
tonight.
on,
awesome.
Devlin.
So
Good to chat with you guys.
That was a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
wonderful games.
yeah. Cool. Well, thanks very much, and until next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See ya.
Nice
Nice.
one. Yeah.
I should probably head out as well.
No
Yeah, I need
worries.
to
Yeah.
make breakfast. You know, I woke up 15 minutes before the game, so yeah, I have to do something.
Yeah, dude, get
Yeah,
a nice
good
sleep.
games. Good games,
See you,
Megan.
everyone. Thank
Good
you.
All right.
games.
See ya.
GG's. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming, guys.
All right. The closer.
The closer.
The closer.
Yeah.
Fuzzy went on depth, but yeah, real tight games from both players.
I'm so happy it came
Fantastic
down.
showing of the matchup.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. By both of them. I'm so happy it came down to the 7 for 7. Just
Yeah.
increasing the suspense. Those games are fun. Are you in the live league, Beast?
Oh no, no. So I was telling Devlinfish earlier I would actually even have to back out of my tournament win. I was talking to Tabata last night.
Mm,
I beat him on a decider game, so I might be going into the finals, but
mm.
I would not have time for other things like playtesting. There's a new one that I joined playtesting on that I need to commit to as well, so it's just an issue on time. So I need to reach out to Nick and Joe to back out gracefully and give it to the deserving next. So
Nice. Yeah, both of you guys,
yeah.
both of you are amazing players. But yeah, no, I know that's the problem with Plat Hat tournaments is that it's really hard to, especially if you make it to the final round. That's 3 weeks or what, 6 weeks in a row, basically.
Yeah,
Summoner Wars.
yeah,
It's hard to schedule.
yeah.
Um,
Hard to schedule, and also the tension is just killing me, man. I don't like seeing that notification in the morning and knowing that I have to take a turn.
I
It's something else.
I agree. That's why I
It's
think,
something else, man.
yeah. I mean, hopefully in the future we have enough players that we can just do like a single day tournament, right? Then you just get it out of the way, and you don't have
Mm,
this dread, which like you said, like every single like you make a misplay and you have to live with it overnight, right?
yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's me in every profit game.
That's everyone every profit game. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Good stuff. Cheers. Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I'm debating maybe I'll stream later some tournament games. I'm not sure. Matters how much time I have. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, you're welcome to join if you want to, or anyone who wants to.
Mm,
And
yeah.
we can talk about
Down
some
to
different
come on.
things.
Say so.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
I'll message you. All right.
Okay.
Have a nice day,
Sounds
man.
good. All right. See you all, everyone. All right. See ya.
Bye.